So hello guys, today we have launched a NISM Series 8 Equity Derivatives की e-book, ठीक है, जिसमें है टोटल 9 mock test and 600 MCQs which are very important, ठीक है। तो अगर आप एग्जाम देने जा रहे हैं तो ये आप 600 MCQ करके जाओगे, आई एम श्योर यू आर गोना पास द एग्जाम इन वन गो, ठीक है। तो अगर आप NISM 8 के बारे में सोच रहे हो और आपको मॉक टेस्ट चाहिए, 9 मॉक टेस्ट जो प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस है इसमें, ठीक है, कि जो एग्जाम में पूछे जाते हैं वही सारे क्वेश्चंस है, ठीक है। अगर आपको ये PDF चाहिए देन इट कॉस्ट यू फॉर ओनली ₹9, ठीक है। सो मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ कि क्या क्या इसमें मैंने डाला है, कि भाई आप बोलोगे आपने तो भाई सबको दे दी, दिखा दी। नहीं भाई, जिसको देखना होता है वो वैसे भी आराम से पास कर लेगा, और ₹9 कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, ठीक है। सो दिस इज मॉक टेस्ट नंबर 2, अप टू ऑल द मॉक टेस्ट, ठीक है। आप देख सकते हो कि ये अप टू, और एक्सप्लेनेशन भी बहुत बढ़िया दिया है, कुछ भी ना समझ में आए एक्सप्लेनेशन पढ़ लो, आराम से आपको समझ में आ जाएगा, ठीक है। और अगर मेरे को बहुत सारे लोग बोल रहे थे कि भाई हमारे पास पैसे नहीं है, फ्री में पढ़ना है, फ्री में पढ़ना है, तो भाई आपके लिए मैंने यूट्यूब में ऑलरेडी वीडियोस डाल दिए है, ठीक है। अपनी चैनल का नाम लिख डालना है, अपोलो फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज, आपको मिल जाएगा। ये देखो यहाँ पर पूरे के पूरे पार्ट्स भी डाल दिए हैं, ठीक है। तो वैसा नहीं है कि भाई पैसे के लिए काम करते हैं, लेकिन अच्छे से ई बुक बनाई है तो भाई पैसे तो चार्ज थोड़ा, तो ₹9 कोई बड़ी अमाउंट नहीं है, ठीक है। तो उतना तो चलता है। और आप हमारी टेलीग्राम चैनल में भी ज्वाइन हो जाना, सारे लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में दे दूंगा, ठीक है। तो ये है मेरी टेलीग्राम की चैनल, ये सारे अपडेट्स इसी में आ जाते हैं, ठीक है। आप मेरे से चैट भी इधर कर सकते हो, बहुत सारे लोग इसमें भी है। सो इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेरीज रिगार्डिंग दिस, फ्री फील टू कॉन्टेक्ट मी। सिर्फ ₹9 की बुक है, ठीक है, और आपको 600 MCQ मिल जाएंगे। पास फॉर श्योर, मैं अपना ओपनली बोल रहा हूँ, पास फॉर श्योर 499 में आपको दे रहा है बुक, वही सेम टू सेम बुक है, ₹9 में मिल रही है। ले लेना, बाय कर लेना, इधर से उधर से कहीं से कॉपी करने मत जाना, इधर आपको ₹9 में मिल रहा है, ले लेना, ठीक है। और NISM 15 की भी ई बुक मैंने बनाई है, तो वो भी आप ले सकते हो, ठीक है, इसका अलग वीडियो है। लेकिन NISM 15 की भी ई बुक है, वो भी ₹9 में ही है। तो आप अगर आप इंटरेस्टेड हो देन फ्री फील टू कॉन्टेक्ट मी, ठीक है। बाय, थैंक यू, हैव अ नाइस डे गाइस। हेलो गाइस, तो हम लोग स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं NISM सीरीज 8 की सारी मॉक टेस्ट। तो टोटल 9 वीडियोस होने वाली है, उसमें से फर्स्ट 6 में 50 MCQs है, और लास्ट 3 में मेगा मॉक टेस्ट है। तो टोटल हम लोग 600 MCQ डिस्कस करने वाला है। और मैं आपको बता दूं कि आप सिर्फ ये 600 क्वेश्चंस कर दोगे तो 110% आप पास हो जाओगे, ठीक है। तो कुछ आए ना आए, ये MCQ देख के जाना, ठीक है। तो हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं फर्स्ट से। टू whom is a high impact cost beneficial? Only buyers, only sellers, neither buyers or sellers। तो करेक्ट आंसर है हायर, neither buyers or sellers, ठीक है। Second, initial margin to be paid in derivatives is set up taking into account the volatility of the underlying market. Generally, higher the volatility, higher the volatility, higher the initial margin। जब वॉलेटिलिटी होती है सारे प्रीमियम्स के प्राइस बढ़ जाते हैं। Dash is the ratio change in the option premium for a unit change in volatility. Volatility equals to वेगा। जब वॉलेटिलिटी ऊपर नीचे होएगी तो वेगा का इम्पैक्ट होएगा, ठीक है। In a derivative exchange, the net worth requirement for a clearing member is higher than that for a non-clearing member. Of course, yes, true। ये आपको याद करना पड़ेगा, ये इसमें कुछ लॉजिक नहीं है। The risk that cannot be controlled by diversification of portfolio is systematic risk, ठीक है। डाइवर्सिफाई करने पर भी नहीं होता है वो सिस्टमेटिक, अनसिस्टमेटिक रिस्क होता है, वो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन से हो जाता है। In a long position in a put option, be closed out by taking a short position in a call option with identical exercise date and exercise price? No, it will not exercise. After the initiation of the option futures, after the initiation of the future contracts, the price of the underlying asset has risen. In this situation, dash a long position become profitable। जो अपन ने फ्यूचर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स लिया होगा और अंडरलाइंग एसेट का प्राइस बढ़ेगा तो अपन प्रॉफिट में होंगे, ठीक है। There are many products in the market which give higher returns in risk-free manner. False. What will be the delta for the far out of money? The option zero. The term mark to market means एवरी डे का जो प्लस माइनस होता है, अपन प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस जो पोजीशन में दिखते हैं वो प्लस और माइनस अपन के वॉलेट में से होते हैं, इसको बोलते हैं M2M. Every day revaluation of the open position by the exchange to reflect profit and losses in the market. The margining system for index future is based on VAR, value at risk. Mr. Anshu has bought 100 shares of ABC at 980 per share. He expects the price to go up, but wants to protect himself if price fall. तो वो stop loss लगाएगा. He does not want to lose more than 1000 rupees. His long position in ABC. What should be the Anshu's do? 990 में लिया, 1000 रुपये वो तोड़ सकने की संभावना रखता है, और 100 शेयर है, 1000 में 10 रुपीज नीचे, 980 minus 10 rupees 970. It means place a stop loss order of 100 shares of ABC at 970 per share. A call option gives the buyer right to buy underlying at market price. False. वो नहीं देता. A traders buy January ABC stock future contract at 768 and lot size is 1200. What is the profit or loss if he square of the 778? 778 में सेल करेगा और बाय 768 तो प्रॉफिट होएगा. प्रॉफिट कितने का होएगा? 10 का होएगा. 10 का होएगा इंटू 1200 इक्वल्स टू 12,000. ओके. A professional clearing member of derivative segments does not have any trading rights. प्रोफेशनल क्लियरिंग मेंबर होगा वो सिर्फ क्लियर ही करेगा. तो जनरल और वो सब होंगे वो अपना ट्रेड भी ले सकते हैं और क्लियर भी कर सकते हैं. थीटा इज मेजर फॉर द सेंसिटिविटी ऑफ एन ऑप्शन प्राइस चेंज इन मार्केट वॉलेटिलिटी. फॉल्स. थीटा है ना डीके करता है, वो ऑप्शन प्राइस में वॉलेटिलिटी चेंज नहीं करता है. Which one of these complaint against a trading member can exchange take up for readdressal? Claims regarding unauthorized transaction in client's account. कुछ भी बिना बताए काम करेगा तो कंप्लेन होएगी, ठीक है. In India, the clearing and settlement derivatives trades would be through SEBI approved clearing corporation and clearing house. ये सब थोड़ा थियोरिटिकल पार्ट है, आप एक एक बार देख लोगे आपको आ जाएगा. Delta is the change in option price given on 1% of course false. रिस्क फ्री इंटरेस्ट रेट है इसीलिए ये इसमें रो यूज होएगा, ये नहीं यूज होएगा, ठीक है. कैन अ क्लियरिंग मेंबर गिव फिक्स डिपॉजिट एज अ पार्ट? ऑफ कोर्स यस. लिक्विड एसेट दे सकते हैं क्लियरिंग मेंबर. वेगा मेजर चेंज इन डेल्टा विद रिस्पेक्ट टू चेंज इन प्राइस ऑफ अंडरलाइंग एसेट. फॉल्स. वेगा चेंज इन प्राइस नहीं करता. A short position in a put option can be closed out by taking a long position in same put option. True. On final settlement, the buyer or holder of the option will recognize the favorable difference received from the seller or writer as a income, of course, in the profit and loss account. Higher the strike price, the premium on call option will decrease, of course, yes. Trading is allowed in Indian equity markets in which of the following? All of the above: index, individual stocks, futures. Can the exercise price be more than or equal or less than the cash spot price? Yes. डिमांड की जैसी मर्जी, ज्यादा डिमांड होएगी तो प्लस माइनस होता है. Can one sell asset in future market even if he does not own any such asset? Yes. फ्यूचर्स में हम कोई भी ले सकते हैं, अपन के पास वो स्टॉक होना जरूरी नहीं है. On the derivative future market, if there are three series of 1, 2 and 3 months open at a time, how many calendar spreads can one have? 3. Current, next और उसका next. All the 50 stock of NSE Nifty index are equally weighted by all the 50 stock of NSE Nifty index are equally weighted while calculating the index. Of course, false. What does a call option gives the buyer? The right, but not the obligation. Speculators are those who take risk, whereas hedgers are those who wish to reduce risk. Of course, bro. स्पेकुलेटर्स को कुछ भी परवाह नहीं होती और हेजर्स को लॉस की परवाह होती है वो अपना हेज में पोजीशन लेके चलते हैं द मनी एंड सिक्योरिटी विच आर डिपॉजिटेड इन अ client's account cannot be attached for meeting the obligation of the broker on the proprietary account ठीक है in case there is a stock split of a company which is a part of an index uh, then what will its impact on the index value the index value will remain unchanged टाइम डीके इफ बेनिफिशियल टू द ऑप्शन सेलर टाइम डीके का सबसे ज्यादा फायदा ऑप्शन सेलर को ही होता है आइडेंटिफाई द ट्रू स्टेटमेंट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू अ पुट ऑप्शन विल गिव द बायर अ राइट but not obligation to sell to the writer as underlying at a specific price ठीक है Mr. Menon has bought a future contract and prices rise in case Mr. Menon will make a profit. How is the forward contract, which for hedging purpose accounted for the books of account? The premium or discount will be amortized over the life of a contract. A derivative market helps in transferring the risk from hedgers to speculators. Yes, this one. Which of the option is an example of scale and respect? Buying the underpriced future contract of one month simultaneously selling the overpriced future contract of another month. Mrs. Kavita want to sell on a future market. For this, she did not own any underlying. The derivative market helps in both transferring of risk from those who are exposed to risk out have low risk appetite to participants with high risk appetite and the reallocation of risk among the market participants. Identify the false statement with respect to options. Options contracts have the linear payout. No, options have just not linear but a futures. Score is the name given to SEBI web-based complaint reversal system. Okay. A trading member reaches his prescribed position limits. Therefore, he will not be able to open a new position. Hold पे चला जाएगा. A calendar spread and index futures will be treated as dash in a far month contract. If the near month contract is expired, is known as naked position. The clearing member is free to close out transaction of a trading member if the trading member has not paid the initial margin and also the trading member has not paid the daily settlement dues. Yes, for this we can say in both of the above cases. Identify the contract which is cleared and settled bilaterally. A 3 month forward contract by a Swiss ये वाला cleared. When the volatility of the underlying stock decreases, the premium of its call option will also decrease. An European call option will give the buyer the right, but not the obligation to buy from the seller, underlying at the strike price, only on expiry day. In future trading, the margin is paid by both option and seller. सबको देना पड़ता है ठीक है और ऑल्सो मेरे को लिंक्डइन में टेलीग्राम में यूट्यूब में गिटहब में मीडियम में सब पे फॉलो कर देना कुछ भी काम हो टेलीग्राम पे मैसेज कर देना और ईमेल आईडी है इसमें भी आप कर सकते हैं और अगर किसी को म्यूचुअल फंड की सर्विसेज चाहिए यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट मी फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ दिस चैनल और मीडियम ठीक है I am also selling mutual fund. If you want any guidance regarding mutual fund, I am MFI registered mutual fund distributor. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a nice day. Hello guys. This is part 2. अपन लोग करेंगे टोटल NISM सीरीज 8 की टोटल 9 मॉक टेस्ट जिसमें से पहली 6 होगी 50-50 MCQ की और लास्ट 3 होगी मेगा मॉक टेस्ट 200 MCQ की होगी ठीक है तो आई एम धवल विशरिया आई एम अ डेवलपर बाय प्रोफेशन एंड अ म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर बाय पैशन ठीक है तो किसी को भी म्यूचुअल फंड रिलेटेड क्वेरी हो प्लीज कांटेक्ट मी आई एम रेडी टू हेल्प ठीक है तो अपन लोग स्टार्ट करेंगे टोटल 50 MCQs जो रिपीटेडली NISM 8 में पूछे जाते हैं अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं करोगे, एक बार ये सारे मैंने जो एमसीक्यू दिए है, टोटल 600 एमसीक्यू होंगे, एक बार देख के जाओगे, 110% आप पास वन टाइम में हो जाओगे, हो जाओगे, हो जाओगे। बार बार 1500 वेस्ट करने से अच्छा एक ही बार में अच्छे से देख लो और पास हो जाओ, ठीक है। In option spreads, there is a combination of options constructed in such a way that there is a limited profit or limited loss. State true or false? It's true. ऑप्शन स्प्रेड में लिमिटेड होता है सर। नेकेड ऑप्शन होएगा तो अनलिमिटेड होएगा, ठीक है। If the price volatility of the underlying stock is high, then the put option will have higher premiums, ठीक है। Higher. It's common to have derivative contracts without any expiration date. False. Derivatives की expiry date होती है। When a broker or dealer is doing trades in his own account, also doing trades for the clients, then these two trades have to be completely segregated. Of course, yes. Whom does clearing member need to consult for setting limits on trading member clearing through him? No consultation is required with anyone as a clearing member. ठीक है, this one. Mr. Arvind is very bullish on the market. However, he feels some specific companies which he has in his portfolio will not perform well in future. So buy the index and sell specific company. Dash means the maximum exposure in term of number of option and future contracts that an investor can hold. A position limit. How you can close the short position in future market? By executing a purchase of same future contracts. इसको उल्टा कर देंगे. In exercising call option on an index, the option holder receives from the option writer an amount equals to excess the spot price over the strike price of a call option. It's true or false? Of course, it's true. What does hedging do? It minimizes business losses. Unlimited profit loss से बचाने वाला एक ही यंत्र है, वो है hedging. A trader sells a future contracts and prices rise, they make a loss. What does a beta of more than one mean? It means that the expected percent of change in stock price will be more than percentage change in index. Intrinsic value of an option is sum of option premiums and time value. Of course, it's false. वो spot price and strike price का difference होता है intrinsic value, ठीक है। Which of these statement is true? Money and security deposit by client cannot be attached for meeting the broker obligation on his proprietary account. The intrinsic value is zero for out of the money option, but always positive for in the money option. True. There is a higher flexibility in fixing forward contract specification as compared to future contract specification. It's true. समझ में आया? Speculators accepts the risk in search of profit. Of course, yes. A clearing member has to deposit 50 lakhs. ये रटने वाला है पूरा. Exposure level of clearing members are positive correlated with the liquid asset maintaining with the clearing corporation. In case ordinary cash dividends on the ex-dividend date, call option values will decrease. Yes, true. In index future, an option can be settled by cash settlement on maturity. The holder buyer of a long position in put option will gain if the price of underlying asset decrease. When the price of future contracts increase, the margin account both buyer to credited and debited loss सब होएगा, प्लस माइनस हो जाता है. और फॉरवर्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैन बी कैंसल्ड if the counterparty also agrees to it. अपन कभी भी एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हैं, यानी कि बाय किया तो सेल और सेल किया हुआ हो तो बाय. Suppose you are a trending member and bought a 14 contracts series, which index future and sold some contracts series. What will be this transaction? It will be netted to 7 contracts. 14 minus 7 equals to 7. अपन की अभी भी ओपन पोजीशन है 7 contracts, ठीक है. A mutual fund manager is bearish on the market and wishes to reduce its exposure to equity from 50 to 40% without selling any of its equity selling. Can he sell index future for it? Of course, yes. For derivative exchange, the network Net worth requirement for a clearing member is always less. Just a second. Yes, is always less than for a non-clearing member or false. लेस नहीं ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए. थीटा is the rate of change in option premium for a unit change in times to expiry. Future prices are usually more transparent than forward price. So derivative brokers dealers are expected to know their clients and exercise care to ensure that the derivative products being sold by particular client is suitable to his understanding and financial capabilities. Of course, true. Is it true that a buyer of a call option cannot lose more than the option premium paid? Of course, true for all options. Why does the screen-based trading has edge over floor trading? There is transparency in the trade execution and executed price. Mr. Rohit is a CA and Ramesh is a commerce graduate. Both are clearing member of the recognized exchange. Based on the information, identify the true statement. Insufficient information, bro. What happens to the intrinsic value of a put option if the strike price is taken down? It will go also down. When the SEBI has approved the bylaws of a derivative exchange, the exchange is free to introduce future contracts on any number of stocks and it does not require to SEBI every time. Once SEBI approved, it's okay, true. If a speculator purchases a naked call option, this means he or she is very bullish. Naked call, yani give call. What does near month future contract mean? Near month is the current month of the future contract. Rho is connected to the interest rate. ये सारे रो थीटा पेगा सब याद रख के जाना. कोई एक तो एमसीक्यू आएगा ही आएगा. In connection with the future market basis is difference between future price and spot price. Identify the transaction which is an example of speculative trade using future. Yes, when a person takes a long position in the stock future in expectation of course. समझ में आया क्या? ठीक है. Desk can write an option in the Indian stock market. All of the above. ये सब होगा. The bid price is always lower than the ask price. पहले bid होता है, इधर ask होता है. ठीक है. One of the reasons that the future trading has become expensive is due to higher margins. Of course, true. Who pays the initial margins to the exchange? बोथ होता है. सब दोनों देंगे. Which member of a stock exchange is not a trading member itself but clears and settles the trading professional? हम्म. ये सेल्फ वाला अपना ही कर सकता है. ट्रेडिंग कम वाला अपना भी कर सकता है और अपने क्लाइंट का भी करेगा. प्रोफेशनल सिर्फ दूसरों का ही करेगा, अपना नहीं करेगा. Loss which is incurred on derivative transaction and which are carried out in a recognized stock exchange can be carried forward for a price of 8 assessment years. अपन को कभी भी लॉस हुआ होएगा तो 8 साल तक अपन उसमें प्रॉफिट दिखा सकते हैं आईटीआर में, जो अपने लॉस दिखाया होगा तो. ठीक है. The risk connected with the trading in derivatives have to be laid down in which document? Risk disclosure document. The beta of a portfolio is the valued weighted average of the beta. What is the risk of the bad delivery in index future contracts? The risk does not exist. When does the monthly series mature for the Nifty index future of NISM? Last Tuesday. अपन एक म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर भी है, तो किसी को भी म्यूचुअल फंड के बारे में कोई भी डाउट हो, कुछ भी लेना हो, कैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट करना हो, कैसे सेविंग करनी हो, प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट मी. आई एम हियर टू हेल्प यू आउट. ठीक है. आप मेरे को किसी भी जगह से कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो. थैंक यू. हेलो गाइस. तो मैं हूँ धवल विसरिया और एक मैं सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर भी हूँ और म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर भी हूँ. आपको किसी भी प्रकार की म्यूचुअल फंड में जो क्वेरी हो तो आप मुझे बोल सकते हो क्या फंड लेना है, कौन सा सेल करना है, कुछ भी म्यूचुअल फंड में हो तो अपन को बोल सकते हो. म्यूचुअल फंड है, एफडी है, सब है. तो अपन लोग आज बात करेंगे एनआईएसएम सीरीज 8 की मॉक टेस्ट की. टोटल 9 मॉक टेस्ट होगी जिसमें ऑलरेडी मैंने 2 मॉक टेस्ट आगे कवर कर ली है. जो आपको मेरी चैनल में दिख जाएगा। और ये थर्ड नंबर है, इसमें भी 50 एमसीक्यू है। टोटल 9 में से फर्स्ट 6 में 50 होंगे और लास्ट 3 में 100 एमसीक्यू होंगे। टोटल वी आर कवरिंग 600 एमसीक्यू विच यू गेट इन माय चैनल। ओके, तो आप लोगों को सिर्फ ये 600 एमसीक्यू करके जाओगे फिर तो भी आपको NISM सीरीज 8 की एग्जाम 110% पास हो जाओगे। ठीक है, तो अपन लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं पहले क्वेश्चन से। A long position in future market can be reversed only with the same counterparty from whom the contract was initial purchased. False। कुछ ऐसा नहीं होता, हमें पता भी नहीं होता अपन की फ्यूचर में किसके पास से लेते हैं, वो अपन को BSc NSC बोलते भी नहीं है। तो ब्रोकर इज कंपल्सरी रिक्वायर्ड टू गेट अ रिस्क डिस्क्लोजर document. Yes, yes. Magna wants to sell 34 contracts, okay, at some price, और ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का मल्टीप्लाई 50, इनिशियल मार्जिन इज 7%, तो 3450 into 50 into 34 into 7%. Answer will be 2911 The arbitrage is basically earning a risk-free profit by simultaneously buying and selling. Of course, true. In case of members default, the clearing corporation cannot transfer client position to another member or close out all the position of defaulting member. As per SEBI rules. False. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होएगा। Clearing corporation open exchange guarantee settlement of exchange traded contracts. Of course, true. For which type of option is it profitable to exercise the option in the money? जब एक्सपायरी हो जाएगी तो इन द मनी वाला ही एक्सरसाइज होगा, बाकी सब जीरो हो जाएंगे। और सेलर ऑफ अ कॉल ऑप्शन कैन लूज अनलिमिटेड अमाउंट ऑफ मनी। ट्रू। और सेलर जो नीचे जाएगा इसके लिए बेट करते हैं, लेकिन जो जल्दी से ऊपर चला गया तो ऊपर तो अनलिमिटेड होएगा, लेकिन पुट सेलर का नहीं होता है, वो तो अनलिमिटेड में नहीं गिनते हैं। Bulls are those investors who believe the market will rise. Of course, true. Initial margin is always equal to the mark to mark margin. False। वो इनिशियल मार्जिन नहीं होता। मार्क टू मार्क मनी क्या होता है, जो लास्ट में अपन का P&L जो होता है प्लस माइनस में, उसे मार्क टू मार्क बोलते हैं। इनिशियल मार्जिन क्या होता है, जब अपन पे करते हैं ट्रेड लेने से पहले। What does a seller of a put option expect? ये अपन ने पहले भी देखा। An increase in price of underlying exchange, no change in the price of underlying, इसलिए आंसर आएगा बहुत। In the derivative segment, who has to pay the margin as specified by the clearing corporation? सबको देना पड़ता है initial margin. When the price of a future contract decreases, the margin account दोनों दोनों प्लस माइनस होएगा। Mr. Ganesh thinks that the market will go down, so he sell 10 lots of index futures 3500. His prediction come true and the index fells, and Mr. Ganesh buy back the futures at 3410, यानी 90 रुपीस का प्रॉफिट पर लॉट into 50, 90 into 10 into 50 equals to 4500 Option contracts have two types of settlements: dash premium settle and final settle daily. Investor who believes that the market will fall are known as bull. False. It's called bears. Which of the following statements hold true for the future contracts? All of the above. What is the tick size? Minimum permanent movement in the price of the contract. Minimum permitted. In a calendar spread transaction, the traders take the position opposite position in two future contracts with two differently delivery months and similar like assets. When a seller short sells a stock, it means he does not own the stock he is supposed to deliver. Though simultaneously purchase and sales of two different 10 years future contract in the same underlying is known as spread trade. If the volatility of the underlying stock is decreases, the premium of call option would also decrease. Excess of premium in an option over the intrinsic value is known as the time value falls. As per news, the government can lose a vote of confidence and can affect the stock market pretty badly. If you can actively trade, what is the ideal step you will take? Sell index future. गिरने वाले तो सेल इंडेक्स फ्यूचर कर दो, बाय करोगे तो ऊपर जाएगा तो लॉस होएगा, डबल योर पोर्टफोलियो होल्डिंग्स नहीं करनी चाहिए। बाय ब्लू चिप शेयर तो अपन को पता नहीं होता है, उससे अच्छा सेल ही कर दो। इन स्टॉक मार्केट बीटा इज अ statistical measure of the sensitivity of the movement of the price at the moment of the prevailing interest rate falls. Of course, beta is a statistical measure of stock sensitivity. Bro, you can check the explanations also. The trades done by the dealers in their own account has to be totally segregated from the trades done in the client account. Of course, true. The time value of an option in the position of option premium that is linked to the account of time till expiry of the option contract, and also due to the fact that the underlying components that determines the value of option may change during that time. True. Just a second. In the option segment, if you buy a put, you expect the market go down. अपने पुट लिया होगा, प्रॉफिट चाहिए तो मार्केट को डाउन जाना पड़ेगा। What advantage did the screen based trading as the pro trading? वो पहले भी आया हुआ है। There is a transparency in the trade execution and execution price. Where there is a close by transaction, this has the effect of the partial fully offsetting a short position. Bro. P and Q are broker of the stock exchange. Both of them have maintained 7 crore of liquid assets consistently of the equity shares and other assets. Both have same exposure. I think ये बरोबर नहीं आया है लिखने में, कोई बात नहीं, skip कर दो। 32. Mr. Deepika is bearish on the market, so she's expecting the market to fall. Bearish market है तो वो expect करेगी. Identify the true formula for the cost of carry. Future price equals to spot plus carry cost of carry. This one. Identify the false statement. For a call option with the increase in strike price, the premium on call increases. ठीक है. Okay, done. कोई बात नहीं. Dash guarantees the performance of the exchange traded contracts. Clear incorporation. If there is no cross margin between cash and derivative segment of an exchange, this will promote all economic inefficiency, increase the cost of trading, and reduce the volume of the given trade. How should a seller of option treat the premium received in his book of account? It should be treated as liability. ITR में liability दिखानी पड़ती है. From the various complaints against a trading member given below, identify which one can be taken up by the exchange for readdressal. Non-receipt of funds or securities. Mr. X sells one ABC stock future contract of 475. What is the profit or loss if you purchase the contract back at the 754? ज्यादा में खरीदा, ऑफ कोर्स लॉस होगा। अब देखना है लॉस कितना होगा। 1500 into 9 rupees, it means 13500 minus. Identify the correct statement. A short position in a put option can be closed out by taking a long position in put option with the same exercise price and expiry date. ठीक है. Hedgers and speculators are two important participants of security market and they strike a balance due to the need. Has hedgers want to avoid risk while the speculator wants to take risk. Hedgers को अपना बचाव करना है और speculator को सट्टा करना है. Mr. Harris had purchased 20 call option on a stock by paying a premium of 10 per call. Of course, strike price is 125. The stock price has closed at 100 on the exercise date. Based on the economic rationale alone, Mr. Hirsch should not exercise the option. What happened to a day order if it is not executed during the day? The day order will be cancelled automatically at the end of the day. Is it true that at expiry the value of an option is in intrinsic value? Yes, it's true for all options. The strategy of Dash involves option with a different strike price but same expiry dates is known as vertical spread. In an American put option, the buyer gets the right, but not the obligation to dash. Writer and underwrite asset at a specific price. Sell or on before expiry. Identify which of the following is not a application of indexes. Private equity funds. What is the minimum price movement in a script called a tick? Delta refers to the rate of change in the option premium for a unit change in the spot price of underlying. What is the rate of STT on the sale of an index or stock future contract? 0.0125. As of now, these are the latest. बाद में गवर्नमेंट अभी चेंज किया है थोड़ा, लेकिन बुक के हिसाब से यही आपको यही टिक करना है। और मैं बता दूं, अभी अपन लोगों ने 3 मॉक टेस्ट ही कंप्लीट किए, टोटल 9 है, लास्ट 3 मेगा मॉक टेस्ट है, उसमें 100 वी आर टोटल कवरिंग 600 MCQ. If you do this all 600 MCQ, I am sure that you gonna pass this exam 110%. Don't waste 1500 rupees in giving multiple exam and buying this test series. I am giving free of cost. You have to work. Okay, आप लोग देख लो, 2 बार 3 बार 4 बार मैं यूट्यूब पे ही अपलोड किया है। 110% आप पास हो जाओगे। और आप पास हुओ और ना हुओ, मेरे को कांटेक्ट करो। लिंक्डइन, टेलीग्राम, यूट्यूब, गिटहब, मीडियम किसी में भी, और ईमेल आईडी भी है। कि आपको कैसा लगा ये वीडियो, और आपको कोई भी म्यूचुअल फंड रिगार्डिंग क्वेरी हो, प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट मी। आई विल सजेस्ट यू हाउ टू बाय, वेयर टू बाय, व्हेन टू सेल म्यूचुअल फंड्स। ठीक है, थैंक यू, हैव अ नाइस डे, बाय। Hello, I am Dhaval Visaria, and a software developer and also a mutual fund distributor by passion। ठीक है, आपको किसी को भी म्यूचुअल फंड रिगार्डिंग डाउट्स है, कौन सा बाय करना चाहिए, सेल करना चाहिए, कैसे अपन को पोर्टफोलियो क्रिएट करना चाहिए, फील फ्री टू आस्क। ठीक है, और अभी हम NISM सीरीज 8 की मॉक टेस्ट की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, जिसमें I am gonna give you total 9 mock tests where I have already covered 3 mock tests. Okay, 50 MCQ each, total 150 MCQ, and last 3 mock test में 100 टोटल 300 MCQ अपन कवर करेंगे, टोटल 600 MCQ। आप 2-3 बार ये देख के जाओगे, आई एम श्योर दैट यू गोना पास दिस एग्जाम इन अ वन गो। ठीक है, सिर्फ आप बैठ के सिर्फ सुनो, एक एक बार 2-2 बार देख के जाओ। इसमें से जो क्वेश्चन आएगा 80% इसमें से ही आता है। ट्रस्ट मी, आई हैव आल्सो डन दिस एंड क्लियर्ड द एग्जाम, एंड many of my students have also cleared from using from this MCQs only। ठीक है, so yeah, the question one, the mark to market margin debits for stock futures are done on the daily basis, but the mark to market margins credits are done on the weekly basis। false, सब डेली में ही होता है। ठीक है, डे टू डे बेसिस। टिक साइज इज द मिनिमम परमिटेड मूवमेंट इन द प्राइस ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। 0.5 और जो होता है ना 1 का मूवमेंट, 0.5 का मूवमेंट, उसे टिक साइज बोलते हैं। और फॉरवर्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज बायलैटरल कमिटमेंट ऑफ ट्रेड बिटवीन टू पार्टीज, जो अपन में अभी चलता ही नहीं है, खत्म हो गया, सब फ्यूचर्स हो गया, फॉरवर्ड खत्म ही हो गया, स्वेप्स भी खत्म हो गए, वो ऑफ मार्केट में ट्रेड होते हैं। हाउ मेनी शेयर्स वुड बी आइडियली देयर इन एन इंडेक्स, डिपेंड्स ऑन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ एन इंडेक्स। निफ्टी 50 में 50 है, सेंसेक्स में 30 है, अपन कुछ नहीं बोल सकते। कोई कल कुछ नहीं आएगा, 49 भी आएगा, 69 भी आएगा, 11 भी आएगा। ठीक है, अपन को नहीं पता, वो तो मार्केट ही डिसाइड करेगी। डिपेंड्स ऑन द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द इंडेक्स। Longer the time of maturity of the put option, higher will be the time value. Of course, yes. Brokers and dealers of derivative exchange have also been registered with SEBI in addition to the registration with stock exchange। True. On a call option moves more out of money, बहुत बार जाएगा, डेल्टा विल डिक्रीज, कम होता जाएगा, यानी कि 10 रुपये बढ़ेगा, वो डेल्टा चलेगा ही नहीं। अपन बोलते हैं ना, इतना चल गया लेकिन मेरा प्राइस क्यों नहीं चला, मार्केट चल गई लेकिन मेरा कॉल ऑप्शन, वो मैंने जो ऑप्शन लिया है वो क्यों नहीं चला, वही डेल्टा के हिसाब से। ठीक है, काउंटर पार्टी रिस्क can also be called as credit risk, default risk. याद रखना ठीक है. A penalty of suspension of registration of a stockbroker from derivative exchange segment under SEBI Regulation 99 can be take place if fails to resolve complaints, includes malpracticing, and code of conduct does not follow code of conduct. कुछ भी रोल तोड़ेगा उसका ब्लॉक होएगा, पेनल्टी भी लगेगी. At the time of final settlement, the seller writer of option will recognize the adverse difference he paid to the buyer has loss. It's the duty of clearing corporation to continuously analyze and modify the initial margin requirement as the stock market tend to be very volatile. Of course, true. FD and bank guarantees are not permitted to be offered by clearing members to the clearing corporation as a part of liquid assets. False. Not permittedly permitted सब चलता है. FD चलती है. डिपॉजिट देनी होती है ना तभी. The absolute amount of minimum capital adequacy requirement for the derivative clearing member is higher than the spot rule. At the price level of 6900, what will be the value of one lot of ABC future contracts? 6900 into 50, 345 triple zero. What will be the value of ABC future contract if the price is 3200, the contract is 150, multiply both 480 In the derivative market, the mark to market margin is equal to the initial margin. Of course, false. Which of the strategy is not hedge? Mr. Agrawal is bullish on the market, so he buys and out of the money. ये नहीं है. ठीक है, यानी कि ये हेज वाली स्ट्रेटेजी नहीं है. करेक्ट आंसर यही है. A call option gives its holder the right to buy any quantity of underlying assets from the writer of the call option at the pre-specified price. False. Losses incurred on derivative transaction on a recognized stock exchange can be carried forward to subsequent 8 years. The price at which of underlying assets can be bought or sold on exercise of an option is called strike price. In an opening buy transaction, the effect will be that of creating an increasing in long position. एक बार देख के जाइयो. The initial margin in derivative markets depends on the volatility of the underlying market. Usually, higher the volatility, higher the initial margin. बहुत ऊपर नीचे होएगा. आपने अभी अभी देखा होगा, वॉर चल रही है, वॉर में सब प्रीमियम्स बहुत हाई है. जब भी वॉलेटिलिटी होएगी तब मार्जिन ज़्यादा लगेगा. In general terms, if the number of participants in the markets are more, the liquidity will be very high, will be low. It's false, it's very high. ठीक है, answer will be false. All terms of investors should allot some position of their portfolio to derivative products in order to increase the portfolio returns. False. Derivatives usually hedge के लिए होते हैं, रिटर्न के लिए नहीं. If the interest rate increases, the premium on call option will also increase. True. The clearing corporation gives exposure limits to clearing member based on the number of trading members using the series services of the clearing members. Of course, false. In derivative exchange, the exposure amount possible for each member broker is linked to the amount of deposit margin kept by the member with the clearing house. True. Which of these is true for unsystematic risk? Unsystematic risk ये दोनों. अनसिस्टमेटिक रिस्क है ना, सारी मार्केट के लिए होता है. How can risk be controlled in the derivative segment by the stock exchange? सब में all of the above. In the derivative segment, once initial margins requirement is fixed, it cannot be changed by the exchange during the lifetime of the future contract. It's false. कोई कभी भी चेंज कर सकता है. वोलेटिलिटी होएगी, इनिशियल मार्जिन ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. What happens to the unmatched portion of the order if an immediate or cancel order? It will be cancelled. आईओसी में अनमैच होएगा तभी के तभी कैंसिल हो जाएगा, या तभी के तब भी ऑर्डर मिल जाएगा वरना कैंसिल हो जाएगा. What should be the market wise position limit for a stock for it to be eligible for launch in the future and option complex in the exchange traded equity segment in India? At least 1500 crore. When an investor gives instruction to the broker to buy a certain number of contracts at or below a specific price, the order is called limit order, under which act regulation is the special transaction reporting required. ये वाला anti money laundering and the combination of financial terrorism. Why are the margins for calendar spread in future index future lows? Because the margin risk is low in calendar spread. A hedger wants offset the price on his equity, so he will take a short position in future. In the option segment, if you buy a call at a premium of 35, strike price of 400, the lot is 200 share, what then the maximum possible profit is unlimited. Who can trade in derivative products? Any broker who is registered with SEBI. A call option will give a holder of the option a right to buy how much of the underlying from the writer of option. Only the specified quantity. अभी तो 1800 है. Those contracts which have been initiated but are not yet offset by a subsequent sale or purchase by making or taking deliver are considered as open positions. As per SEBI guidelines, derivative trading takes option through online screen-based trading system. This is Seema. A stock market trade is very bearish on specific companies. However, she is bullish on the market of one, so she should sell the stock and buy index futures, which is the clearing corporation considered very important in the derivative market. Clearing corporation provides settlement guarantee and assumed role of counterparty for each trade. A client has asked for a quarterly settlement of his running account. In this connection, identify the incorrect statement A. The settlement which will done on first Friday of the quarter. B. The settlement will be done on the last Friday of the quarter. C. The settlement will done on the trading day of the quarter. Both B and C are incorrect. Identify the correct statement. Sales against of the brokers should be used high pressure during tactics. Complete the sentence. Shorter the time to expiry of a put option, lesser will be the time value. A derivative market will primarily have which of the following participants? Both speculator and hedger. कोई सट्टा खेलने आएगा, कोई कमाने आएगा. Which of these is not included in the Indian equity derivative market? Interest rate futures अभी भी नहीं है. For calculating the net worth of a clearing member, which is not considered. Fixed asset, pledged securities, is membership card. In dash strike price, the market price are equal to at the money. Oh, we have completed 50 MCQs. Total, we have cleared 200 MCQs. Remaining 400 MCQs we are going to cover in next session. So be ready and be focused to clear NISM 8. You can check the date below. Okay, it's 8th April 2026. This is the latest MCQ series which you can find in internet. So please be clear. Go through all the 600 MCQs to clear the exam. And also, if you want any mutual fund regarding queries, which to buy, how to buy, when to buy, how to create portfolio, please contact me. I will here to help you out. I am MF registered mutual fund distributor. Okay, thank you. Hello guys, I am Dhaval Visaria. I am a developer, also a mutual fund distributor. If you have any queries regarding mutual fund, please contact me. हमने NISM के NISM सीरीज 8 की टोटल 9 मॉक टेस्ट देखने वाले जिसमें से 4 ऑलरेडी मैंने कवर कर लिए, ठीक है, और ये हम फिफ्थ आज देखेंगे. किसी को भी कुछ भी डाउट हो प्लीज कांटेक्ट मी, ठीक है. I have also cleared NISM 5, 8, 15 and 13. So if you want any MCQs or test series regarding them, feel free to ask. तो अभी यही देखते हैं, ठीक है। 50 क्वेश्चन। Question 1. In this case of future contracts, the profit or loss are received or paid only on maturity is false. Three series of 1, 2, 3 and 1 futures open at the given point of time. How many calendars? Only 3 calendars. पहले भी आ चुका है, आपको याद होना चाहिए. Dash is not a derivative market product. This is preference shares. Even if you do not own the underlying stocks, you can sell the stock option for the stock. Of course, true. Over the counter option are always standardized. False. Over the counter में कुछ भी होता है. Calendar spreads carry basis risk and no market risk. Lower होता है. Hence margins are less charged. A long or short position in a future contracts can be closed by initiating a reverse trade. True. When it is said that there is a cash settlement of an index future contracts, it means that the contract is settled in cash with no delivery of underlying. True. Which of these complaints against a trading member can be exchange take up for readdressal? Exercise brokerage charged by broker. In exercising a put option on a stock, the option holder acquires from the option right a short position in the underlying fund. When a person enters into a forward contract, the loss that can occur on the position is unknown. अपन को नहीं पता होता. You sold a call option on share. The strike price of the call was 250 and you receive a premium of 16 from the option buyer. What can be maximum loss on the position? Unlimited. Clearing member Mr. Prabhu focuses mainly on proprietary trading. While clearing member Mr. Mehta does not do any proprietary trades and does trades only for clients. If both have deposited the same amount of assets with clearing corporation, which of the following statement is true? Mr. Prabhu enjoys a higher exposure limit than Mr. Mehta. A tick is minimum price difference. A stock index like Nifty is a basket of stocks. Generally, other things remaining the same. American options value is lower than the European options. It's totally false. In India, we follow European options. ठीक है. यूरोपियन ऑप्शंस में क्या होता है, एक्सपायरी के दिन ही अपन जो फ्यूचर्स और ऑप्शंस होते हैं उसको ले सकते हैं एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. लेकिन अमेरिकन में आप कभी भी कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. अ ट्रेडिंग मेंबर on derivative exchange does not have clearing rights. ट्रेडिंग मेंबर यानी अपन लोग. The exercise date and expiration dates of an European option is always the same. Mr. A sold a put option of strike 300 on ABC stock of premium of rupees 20. The lot size is 1000. On the expiry day ABC stock 250. अपने 300 में लिया था, प्रीमियम 20 रुपए है और क्लोज हुआ 250 में. क्या होगा? लॉस ही होगा. कितने का होएगा? 3000 का, 30,000 का. आप एक्सप्लेनेशन देख सकते हो, ठीक है. When a put option of an index is exercised, the option holder received from the option writer is a cash amount that is equal to exercise price over spot price. ठीक है. Intrinsic value is always positive for in the money option and zero for out the money options. Of course, yes, true. If the future price is higher than spot price of an underlying asset, this is known as Contego. Mr. Assis is a portfolio manager and he is bullish on the market. What should be his course of action? He should buy the index. बढ़ेगा अगर इंडेक्स भी बढ़ेगा, इंडेक्स ले लो. The main proof of whether a future transaction is a speculation of hedging is based on whether there already exists a related commercial position which is exposed to risk of loss due to price movement. Of course, yes, true. Hedging basically means taking a trade to reduce the risk. ठीक है. What is the role of speculators in the market? They add to the liquidity in the future market. What is an index future? It's a derivative product. Identify the incorrect statement with respect to tracking error of index future. Tracking errors is the same for all index as it fixed by the regulator. Which type of index is NSE Nifty? It's a free float market capitalization. अपन निफ्टी इंडेक्स में फ्री फ्लोट कैपिटलाइजेशन से काम होता है. कई जगह पर एवरेज वेटेड होता है, सेम वेटेड होता है, कुछ भी चलता है. अपन में फ्री फ्लोट चलता है. फ्री फ्लोट यानी कि 100 रुपए की कंपनी है, डिसॉल्व 30% किया है तो 30 ही हम गिनेंगे. जितना डिसॉल्व किया होता है मार्केट में उसे फ्री फ्लोट कहते हैं. बाय एंड सेल जो हम कर सकते हैं उसे फ्री फ्लोट कहते हैं. जो प्रमोटर के पास होता है उसे फ्री फ्लोट में नहीं गिना जाता है. Identify the strategy in which an investor take a short position in call option and long position in the underlying stock. Writing a covered call. Identify the full statement with respect to trading on the OTC market. OTC market have a centralized clearing and settlement of all trades. The cost incurred due to the bid ask trade is known as impact cost. बाय और सेल के बीच में जो अनऑर्गेनाइज प्राइस होता है उसे इम्पैक्ट कॉस्ट कहते हैं. फ्यूचर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट can be scared of any time before expiry. Yes. A trading cum clearing member has a client X who has purchased and sold 1000 and 2000 contracts respectively in the June series of ABC futures. One contract equals to 50 multipliers. Okay. The trading cum clearing member has purchased and sold 2200 and 1500 contracts respectively on his own account in the same June series of ABC futures. What is the outstanding liability of the member towards clearing corporation? First of all, 100 minus 2000 equals to 1000 sell contracts, and 2200 minus 1500 equals to 700 purchase contracts. It means 1000 plus 700 equals to 1700 open contracts. What which of these is an example of derivative contracts? S&P 500 futures. Which of these derivative contracts, once entered into, usually cannot be closed or reversed till expiry? Forward contracts. Who becomes a legal counterparty to every trade in future transaction on a recognized stock exchange? Clearing corporation. What will be the option holder receives when he exercises a put option on an index? He will receive cash amount equal to exercise price over a spot price. When does clearing corporation change the initial margin requirement? They change margins when market is volatile. You have to check where is volatile. Expiry date, trading volume, SEBI, and volatility. It means you have to select these volatility once. I plug charges. Mark to market margins are collected on the daily basis. The facility for lending and borrowing securities is usually necessary for smooth execution of reverse cash and carry arbitrage. Identify the strategy which will be the most appropriate when volatility is expected to be very low. Short spreader. Identify the true statement with respect to option spread. A bearish call spread with result in an initial cash inflow of trade. In India, when the option holder exercises a call option on an equity stock, so the answer is the option holder buys the underlying stock from the option writer at a pre-specified price. 44. A trader wants to sell 20 contracts of August series 4500, and B wants to sell 17 contracts 4500. Lot size is 50, initial margin is 6. So how much we have to give? That means 4500 into 20 into 50 plus 4550 into 50 into 70. What answer will come? Into 7% margin equals to 502050. सब चीज को मल्टीप्लाई कर दो, दोनों के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को प्लस कर दो. इनिशियल मार्जिन 6% है, टोटल वैल्यू का 6% है, अपन को पहले देना होता है, वही आंसर है. ठीक है, सिंपल ही है. कुछ समझ में ना आए सारे क्वेश्चंस के नीचे एक्सप्लेनेशन है. State whether true or false. Trading member of a derivative exchange can clear his trade through a clearing member who may or may not be professional clearing member. Of course, yes. A trader has a short position in a future contract. If price of a future contract increases, then mark to market margin account of the trader will be debited for the loss. प्राइस गिरेगा तो मार्क टू मार्केट में डेबिट लॉस होएगा. Mutual fund manager has collected change crore in a new fund of spending over the next 1 month by 20 selected stocks. He can execute a long hedge using a index future. क्वेश्चन पढ़ के आप कर सकते हो. Default risk is also known as credit and counterparty risk. What is a stock option? Is a derivative instrument. On announcement of the record date for merger demerger, the unexpired futures and spot contracts on the underlying securities which are outstanding on the last come date will compulsorily be settled at the settlement price on the last come date. So we have completed total 5 mock tests which consist of each 50 MCQs. Total 250 MCQs has been completed by me, Dhaval Visharya. I am also MP registered mutual fund distributor. If you have any queries regarding mutual fund, if you want to buy, sell, you have to make a portfolio. If you have any goal from using that, you have to make portfolio. Please contact me. I am here to help you out. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Have a great day. Hello guys. I am Dhaval Visharya, a not SEBI, MP registered mutual fund distributor. I have cleared NISM 5, 8, 13 and 15. If you want any MCQ or notes regarding these four, then please feel free to contact me. Plus, if you have any doubts regarding mutual fund, if you want to buy, sell, want to make a very great portfolio for a long term, if you want to invest in mutual fund, free feel to ask. So we have total covered mock test 5. Previously we have covered total 5 mock tests and today we are going to start mock test number 6 which have 50 MCQs. Total we have covered 250 MCQs previously and today we are going to cover next 50 and 300 will remaining. There that is mega test 7, 8 and 9 which consist of 100 MCQ each. So yeah, जो आपको फर्स्ट ही गो में एमसीक्यू एनआईएसएम 8 में सर्टिफाइड करना है, एमसीक्यू में एग्जाम सर्टिफिकेशन पास करना है, you have to cover all these MCQ 600 MCQ 1 or 2 times. I am sure you gonna pass this exam in a very first attempt. Okay, so yeah, we are good to go for this MCQ. Okay, one, Mr. Sham is a equity fund manager and he is bearish on the stock market. How he use his view to create a hedge? He will sell index future. Bearish sell index future. Second, dash is a deal that produces profit by exploiting a price difference in a product in two different markets. It's arbitrage. Buy and sell in two different things. Okay. The option which gives the holder right to sell the underlying assets on before a particular date for a certain price is called American put option. A trader takes a short position in call option but does not take any offsetting position in the underlying stock. What is the strategy known as? Writing a naked call. If the price of a far month future is less than the price of a near month future, it is called as backwardation. Before you take a position in the future contract, the exchange call for dash to cover any losses that your position may incur. इट्स इनिशियल मार्जिन। कुछ भी पोजीशन से पहले अपन लोगों को इनिशियल मार्जिन देना ही पड़ता है। द एक्सरसाइज प्राइस ऑफ एन ऑप्शन इज सेम एज इट्स पोजीशन लिमिट। फॉल्स। पोजीशन लिमिट नहीं होता है, अपन को इनिशियल मार्जिन ही देना पड़ता है। कैन अ इक्विटी oriented mutual fund hedge its equity exposure by selling index future? Yes. When the margin are kept on the lower side, it will attract more players to join the derivative markets. True. Professional clearing member clears a trade office associate trading members only. False. All सबके लिए करता है। Future contracts are not symmetric with respect to right and obligation of the parties involved. False. And index option is derivative and settled in cash, both 1 and 2. As per SEBI Act, the board members of Security Exchange Board of India are appointed by the central government. The rate of change in option premium for a unit change in price of underlying asset is known as delta. It's true. Client A has purchased 10 contracts of December series and sold 7. It means 10 minus 7 equals to 3. Open position is 3. State true or false. Scarcity of underlying commodities will generally cause a rise in the future prices. Of course, yes, true. Function of a derivative market includes improving price discovery and shift of speculation trades. Both. The expiry day for June series index future on NSE would be last Tuesday in June. When a call option on an index is exercised, the option holder will receive from the option writer cash amount equal to exercise of spot price over the strike price of the call option. Of course, yes, it's true. At which price can a trader place a bid or a offer for a script? At the price which is within the daily circuit filter limit. A fall in the price of Wipro stock will increase the value of the Wipro call option. False. फॉल होएगा तो थोड़ी इंक्रीज होएगा, कुछ भी लिखते हैं। हाँ, क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं। मिस्टर सुनील प्लेस Mr. Sunil placed a stop sell order on ABC. Stock trigger price 450. The current market price is 470. What order will be released for execution as soon as the market price of ABC touches 450? Put call parity refers to the relationship between call and put option on the same stock which have same strike price and same maturity. If the trading member fails to pay the dues, the clearing corporation can disable the clearing or trading members from trading. State whether true. That's true. Trade guarantee fund is maintained for protecting the interest of investor in calculating confidence or guaranteeing the settlement trade. सब के लिए a person sells one ABC stock limited. Stock future contract 268. लॉट साइज इतना और प्लस माइनस परचेस फिर से कितना 274 में ज़्यादा किया माइनस इक्वल्स टू लॉस कितने का लॉस किया 6 रुपये 6 into 1500 it means 9000 of loss. Institutional investor pay lower margins than the individual investor for derivative trading. Yes, false. A person who provides two-way quotes for various stock is known as market maker. Dash can write an option in the Indian market. Common individuals, market makers, foreign financial institutions, all of the above. In case forward contracts, the rules regarding the minimum amount of which the price would change and the price limits are specified by an authority. False. Foreign exchange can be a part of liquid assets to be maintained by clearing members with the clearing corporation. Of course, false. The volatility estimate methodology is known only to the clearing corporation and not to others. False. ये जो लास्ट में तीन चार थे वो सारे ही रटने वाले थे, आपको ये दो तीन बार देख के जाना है तो आपको पता चल जाएगा। आपको सारी थियोरी याद नहीं करनी है, ये सारे एमसीक्यू एक दो बार कर लो, गारंटी देता हूँ आप पास हो जाओगे। ये प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन का ही समरी है। इफ द फ्यूचर प्राइस इज राइजिंग बट ओपन इंटरेस्ट इज डिक्लाइनिंग इट्स इंडिकेट्स शॉर्ट कवरिंग। डैश इज एन ऑर्डर विथ अ टाइम कंडीशन, गुड टिल कैंसल ऑर्डर। Miss Tanisha has gone shorter on October future on ABC stock at 2300. Okay. शी विल मेक अ प्रॉफिट इफ फ्यूचर प्राइसेस मूव्स टू, बढ़ेगा तभी मिलेगा, 250, शॉर्ट है, सॉरी गिरेगा तो ही मिलेगा, शॉर्ट है, ठीक है। व्हाट डज अ वैल्यू एट रिस्क मेजर? रिस्क लेवल ऑफ financial portfolio. Mr. Nair has purchased 8 contracts of March and sold 6 contracts of April. It means 8 minus 6 equals to 2. Open position is 2. Who can clear trades in index or option? Clearing members. Cost of carry model means spot price plus carry of uh, cost of carry. As per SEBI rules, a stockbroker can be suspended from the derivative segment if all of the above कुछ भी नहीं करेगा तो मरेगा. In case of bonus share, the new open strike price is arrived at by dash, dividing the old strike price by the adjustment factor. Mr. Gautam has sold a put option with a strike price of 650, premium 60 rupees, maximum gain 60 ही होगा maximum gain because he has taken put option sold the sell put equals to 60, has 60 become 0, it gain only 60 rupees per share of. Can clients position be net off against each other while calculating initial margin? No. If a person buys a share in one market and simultaneously sells in a different arbitrage, three equal series of a same strike price of a State Bank of Indian stock June, July, August are quoted, which will be have the lowest option premium June, which have very nearest time. If a trader does not calendar spread in his future and the near leg of the calendar spread expire, the future leg becomes a regular open position. It's true. Are broker members allowed on the clearing council of the clearing corporation of the derivative segment? No. Margin in future tradings are applicable to both buyers and sellers. सबको margin देना पड़ता है. Mr. R wants to sell 17 contracts. Okay. 45500. S want to sell 20. Series 45 double zero. Lot size is 50. Initial margin is 9. It means 17 into 4500 into 50 plus 20 into 4500 into 50 equals to 9. जो भी आंसर है उसका 9% ले लो. Answer is 4050000. If the price of a stock is highly volatile, then the option premium would be relatively higher. So we have completed total 300 MCQs of NISM Series 8. I am Dhaval Visharia, a mutual fund distributor, a PMS distributor and a SIF distributor. सब मेरे पास है. If you have any query regarding mutual funds, bonds, FDs, I am here to help you. If you want to take any advice from me for mutual funds, please contact me via LinkedIn, Telegram, YouTube, GitHub, Medium, email ID. Okay, so yeah, have a great day. I will cover next 300 MCQs. Just a second. Okay, next I am going to cover next 300 MCQs via mock test number 7, 8, and 9. Okay, bye. Hello guys. So I am Dhaval Visaria, a mutual fund distributor by passion. If you have any queries regarding mutual fund, feel free to contact me. If you want to buy, sell, hold, want to create a portfolio and anything, contact me. Okay. So we we have started a NISM series 8 MCQ mock test series where we are going to cover 600 MCQs. So we have already covered 300 MCQs and 3 mega mock test is pending 7, 8 and 9. So today we are going to also cover test 700 MCQ, test 8 and 9. They both also have 100 and 100 MCQ. So yeah, मैं आपको पक्का बोलता हूँ ये आप 600 MCQs एक बार देख के जाओगे 110% आप लोग एग्जाम में टॉप करोगे 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 आपको मोर देन 60% मिल जाएंगे 110% एक बार दो बार देख के जाओ। सिर्फ आप डायरेक्ट ऑप्शन देख के ही टिक करके आओगे, मेरी गारंटी है। ठीक है, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। मेगा मॉक टेस्ट 700 MCQs और अभी 200 MCQs बाकी है। ठीक है, सब देख के जाना। So question 1. Two stocks A and B stocks are quoted at 500 per share. Keeping everything else constant, if A is more volatile than B, which put will be priced higher? जिसकी volatility ज़्यादा होगी वो महंगा होगा. The put of stock है will higher. A is more volatile. ठीक है. The option premium is affected by the difference in the exercise price and the spot price. True. Affect होगा. The contract size in the future market is defined by the stock exchange. In a derivative exchange, the net worth requirement for a clearing member is higher than that of a non-clearing member. Yes, true. Net worth required clearing member की ज़्यादा चाहिए. Non-clearing members अपन लोग non-clearing में होते हैं, अपन को कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Clearing वालों को 50 lakhs चाहिए minimum. Clearing member normal net worth of at least 300 lakhs equals to 3 CR. So if the future if the price of a future contract increases, the mark to market margin account of the holder of the short future position in that contract is credited for the gain. False. वो नहीं होता है. A calendar spread in index future is treated as naked position. Bro, कुछ नियर मंथ वाला एक्सपायर हो जाता है, सिर्फ एक ही पोजीशन खड़ी रहती है, उसको हम नेकेड पोजीशन बोल सकते हैं. In case of ordinary cash dividends on the X dividend date, put option value will decrease. False. नहीं होगी decrease. A trader sold a call option on a share of strike price of 200. Premium receive हुआ 12 rupees. Maximum loss कितना होगा? Unlimited. A trader has taken a short position of one contract in September ABC future contract multiplied by 50 at a price of when he closed his position after a few days, he realized that he had made a profit of 5,000. Which of the following action would have embedded him to generate the profit? This one, buying once 1st September ABC futures contract at 1700. This one. The market price of a share is 120 and the 110 call is quoted at 24. What is the intrinsic value? Only rupees 10. 24 minus 10 होएगा ना. 24 minus extra कितना है 120 में 10. On the National Stock Exchange for its index future, what would be the opening day of its April series? Last Wednesday of January month. A default by a member in the derivative segment will be not be treated as default in cash segment of that exchange. False. A high initial margin level improves solvency and financial capabilities of the clearing corporation. True. Operational risk includes losses due to all of the above. ये पिछली बार भी आया है, रिपीट हुआ है. Does the difference between exercise price of the option and spot price affects option premium? Of course, yes. Diversification is used to control systematic risk. False. Mr. Anand asked his broker to buy certain number of contracts at the market price. This instruction is called market order. Certain number of contracts and market price. मार्केट ऑर्डर में कुछ भी लेते हैं इसे बोलते हैं. लिमिट में कोई स्पेसिफिक प्राइस मिलती है. स्टॉप लॉस में सेल के लिए ऑर्डर डालते हैं कि इतने से लॉस ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. आर्बिट्राज में बाई सेल होता है एट द सेम टाइम. इन एंड इन द मनी पुट ऑप्शन क्या होएगा इसमें? स्ट्राइक प्राइस विल बी हायर देन द मार्केट प्राइस. ओके. इनिशियल मार्जिन इज कैलकुलेटेड बेस्ड ऑन VAR, value at risk. Time value and intrinsic value of a call option are always either positive or zero. True or false? It's always true. The idea and economic rationale of introducing forward contract is to helping hedge. Help hedging. A call option gives the holder a right to buy how much of the underlying from the writer of the option. Only the specified quantity state True or false? A future contract is usually referred to by its delivery month. Of course, true. Future trading is considered more risky than equity trading due to high leverage. The maximum possible loss for the option buyer is the premium paid, but the profit can be higher depending on the underlying price movement. This is true for which type of option? All type of option. Delta measure the expected change in the option premium for a unit change is spot price of the underlying asset. अंडरलाइंग एसेट का कुछ भी चेंज होएगा हम डेल्टा की मदद से देख सकते हैं कि उसमें भी कितना चेंज आ सकता है इफ डेल्टा इज इक्वल्स टू 1 देन स्पॉट में जितना चेंज होगा वही प्रीमियम में भी चेंज होगा और 0.5 होगा डेल्टा इट मींस इफ स्पॉट has changed to 1 to 10 then premium has changed to 1 to 5. Okay. Which of the following complaints can be taken by the exchange of readdresser? Excess brokerage charged by the trading member and subbroker. The purpose by which a future contract is terminated by a transaction that is equal and opposite to the original transaction is called offsetting. Dash risk is the component of the price risk that is unique to particular event of the company and or industry, and the risk will be reduced by a certain extent by diversifying the portfolio. Is known as unsystematic risk. All active members of the exchange are required to make initial contribution towards the trade guarantee fund of the exchange. Yes, true. If you have a long or short position in the future contracts, this can be closed by initiating a reverse trade. True or false? It's true. Contract month means month of expiry of the future contract. The main logic behind position limit is to prevent the market being unduly influenced by the activities of an individual group of investors. As per accounting standards, the initial margin paid by an option seller is shown under current asset. ITR जब भरेंगे तब current assets को दिखाएंगे ठीक है institutional investor पे higher margins than the individual investor डेरिवेटिव ट्रेडिंग फॉर सबके लिए सेम ही होता है Laws incurred on derivative transaction can be carried forward for a period of 12 assessment years. Was 8 साल के लिए होता है Higher the interest rate, the higher call option premium. True. Which of the following is closest to the forward price of a share? If cash price is 425, forward contract maturity equals to 12 months from date. Market interest rate is 12%. Then yeah, you can check. This is the calculation. 12% of 425 divided by 12, you get the 1 year forward price is 476. Okay. Mr. Mohan entered into a contract with Mr. Soham to buy 500 bags of cotton at a price of 800. Okay. Okay. Delivery of goods and payment of money will take place 4 months from now. Both Mr. Mohan and Mr. Soham have a right as well as obligation under this contract. What type of contract is this? This is forward. बिना शेयर मार्केट के अपन जो भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं उसे अपन फॉरवर्ड बोलते हैं जो अभी नहीं चलता है अभी एक्सचेंज ने सब वो बंद कर दिया है अनएथिकल है क्योंकि उसमें काउंटर पार्टी रिस्क होता है और शॉर्ट पोजीशन इन अ कॉल ऑप्शन कैन बी क्लोज्ड out by taking a long position in a put option with same exercise date and exercise price. False. Mr. A sold a put option of a strike 400 on PQR stock for a premium of 32. The lot size is 500 on the expiry day. PQR stock closed at rupees 350. What is the net profit? पक्का लॉस ही है क्योंकि 350 में सेल कर दिया है क्योंकि 350 में क्लोज हुआ है 9000 का लॉस है The ask price is always greater than the bid price. The concept in which the derivative trader gets a higher exposure for a small portion of margin amount bought by him is called a leverage. Change in option premium for a unit change is dash is known as risk-free interest rate. रो आएगा तभी risk-free interest rate ही आएगा. When would a trader make a profit of a short position of September futures? He squared off his short position by buying the September future at lower price. This one. A naked call option strategy means that the writer does not currently owns the underlying. True. It is true that an efficient cash market is required for a efficient market or future markets. Yes. The total number of outstanding or unsettled contracts in the market at any point of time is known as open interest. Investor Mr. X wants to sell 11 contracts of Web series at rupees 6300 and investor Y wants to sell 13 contracts of March series at rupees 6450. Lot size is 50 for both these contracts. The initial margin is fixed at 6%. How much initial margin is required to be collected from both these investors by the broker? ये तीनों को मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे कौन सा है 11 इंटू 6300 इंटू 50 प्लस 13 into 6450 into 50 equals to amount into 6%. You get the answer 459450. In option, the seller of an contract pays an upfront premium at the price of entering into a contract. False as the premium is paid by the buyer, not the seller. Okay. The client registration from contains clients all of the above. The option which gives the holder a right to buy the underlying assets on or before a particular date for a certain price is known as American call option. The strategy of buying a put option on a stock you are owning is known as protective putting. In and out of the money, put option कौन सा आएगा? Strike price will be lower than the market price. Or lower than the market price. For portfolio hedging by the institutional and mutual funds, index-based derivatives are more suitable and much more cost efficient than derivatives based on individual stocks. True. A portfolio with 50 different stocks is twice as risky as another portfolio with 100 stocks in it. False. The seller of a put option gains if the price of underlying assets decreases or increases. The clearing of trades on stock exchange can be done by clearing member. ये पहले आ चुका है आपको याद होना चाहिए. An American put option gives the buyer the right but not the obligation to sell to the writer an underlying asset at a specific price or on before the expiry date. True. A trader sold on ABC stock future contracts at rupees 354 and the lot size is 900. What is the trader profit or loss if he purchases the contract back at 341? It's probably a profit 11700. What does the term stock price typically refers to? The price of a stock in a spot market. A person who is bullish and the payer of premium is buyer of call option. bullish है और premium भी pay करता है कौन आएगा? Call buy. Mr. Hitesh is a trading member. One of his clients has purchased 12 contracts of March series index futures and another client has he sold 10 contracts of March series index futures. The exposure of Mr. Hitesh as a trading member is 12 plus 10 equals to 22. Hmm. Option contracts are not symmetric with respect to rights and obligations of the parties involved. So, in a forward contract, the party that agrees to sell the underlying assets on a certain specific date for a certain specific price is said to have assumed a short position. Mr. Ravi purchased 10 call option on stock at rupees 20 with strike price of rupees 350. If on exercise date stock price is 310, ignoring transaction cost, Mr. Ravi will choose not to exercise the call. If an index future contracts, the tick size is 0.2 of an index point and the index multiplier is rupees 50, then the tick is valued at 10. Shorter the time to maturity of the call option, higher will be the time value. False. The absolute amount of minimum capital adequacy requirement for derivative broker is same as for cash market. False. In case of call option, if the market price is less than the exercise price, the option will एक्सपायर वर्थलेस जीरो हो जाएगा सब. The main objective of derivative is to enable the market participant to hedge. अभी hedge नहीं है, तो अपन लिख सकते हैं manage the risk. Trading members are required to possess a higher level of capital adequacy than clearing members. False. Factors influencing open pricing include which of the following? All of the above. ये बहुत बार रिपीट होता है, ध्यान से देख लो. What type of risk do clients face when trading in exchange traded equity futures? Risk of unfavorable price movement leading to higher M2M margins payment. According to regulatory guidelines, which of the following correctly describe how broker must communicate the execution of non-execution of client orders? Inform the client immediately about the execution or non-execution of the order. Under the security contracts, derivatives are defined to include all of the above. What is the minimum age requirement for the designated partner to obtain membership as a trading member? 21. ये बहुत बार आता है. Which of the following order types require the trader to specify a triggered price or stop loss order? Which of the following instruments are considered suitable and cost efficient for portfolio hedging by mutual fund and institution? Index-based derivatives. Who determines the contract size in a future contracts? The exchange. A professional clearing member holds membership with clearing corporation. Which of the following instrument is regulated and traded under the provision of the security contracts? Debentures. A trader with limited capital had a bullish outlook on a stock. ऊपर जाने की कोशिश में the stock price rose significantly. बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रहा है. Validating his views. Which of the following project would have generated the highest return on the invested capital? Long position in the stock future. उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा profit होगा. The inspection of the record of a stockbroker as provided under the SEBI Regulation 1992 is primarily carried out to verify the books of account and other records maintained as prescribed. ये आपको रट्टा मारना पड़ेगा. Which of the following is true with respect to forward contracts? May or may not result in delivery. इसकी limitation ही यही है. Which of the following statement is correct regarding a long position in a future contract? It can be reversed with any counterparty on the exchange platform. Which of the following statement is correct? A market order does not guarantee execution at a specified price or at a better price. Identify the option which has an intrinsic value. A put option with a strike price of 170 and the underlying stock price is 125. समझ में आया क्या? इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू यानी जो इन द मनी हो ना वो. और इनमें से इन द मनी कौन सा है? डी ऑप्शन. An exchange may launch future and option contracts of an index only if a minimum of -% of the stocks forming that the index are eligible for derivative tradings on the individual basis. 80%. ये भी रटने वाला है. Under the interoperability framework for the clearing corporation, market participants are permitted to execute trade across the multiple exchanges and clearing through a single clearing corporation. Which of the following statements are correct? With all the other factors unchanged, a client with a long investment horizon can invest in riskier assets compared to a client with a shorter investment horizon. Mr. P and Mr. Q, both clearing members, maintain liquid assets of rupees 10 crore each. On 1st July, during the next 30 days, the value of Mr. P shares increased while the value of Mr. Q share declined. If both deal only in the index future and derivative segment, which statement is true? P will be eligible for higher margin across exposure than Mr. Q. समझ में आया ना? Under an option contract, the option holder has a dash but not the dash to purchase or sell the underlying assets. Option holder has right but not the obligation. The debit balance in the mark to market margin account as a balance sheet date should be classified as a current asset under loans and advance. The shorter the time to maturity of a call option, the lower will be the time value. एक्सपायरी के दिन क्या होता है, यही तो होता है. Loss incurred from the speculative transaction is allowed to be sent set off against which of the following. Only speculative income. ITR की बात है. Which of the following statement regarding impact cost is correct? Wider bid ask spread lead to higher impact cost. Derivative market is best described as a market where risk is traded. How do stock exchanges interact with buyers and sellers? Through trading members. A stock with a very high market price which have a great impact on the index level in which of the following types of index? A price weighted index. So yeah, we have covered total 400 MCQs. 200 MCQs are remaining. I genuinely tell you, please go through all 600 MCQ one or two times. I am sure you gonna pass the exam. ठीक है. मुझे पता है मैं बहुत स्पीड में जा रहा हूँ, लेकिन आपको ये एमसीक्यू किधर भी नहीं मिलेंगे. ये मोस्ट आस्क्ड क्वेश्चंस है. आई रिपीट, these are most asked questions. और अगर आपको कुछ भी काम है म्यूचुअल फंड रिलेटेड, फील फ्री टू आस्क. ठीक है. थैंक यू. हेलो गाइस, आई एम Dalvis Saria. आई एम अ डेवलपर बाय प्रोफेशन एंड अ म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर बाय पैशन. ठीक है. हमने टोटल 400 MCQs कवर किए हैं, और ये हमारी NISM 8 की मेगा मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज 8 है. इनमें हम 100 MCQs कवर करेंगे, और 100 बाद में 100 ही MCQ बाकी रहेंगे. ठीक है. तो लेट्स स्टार्ट. मैं आपको गारंटी देता हूँ, ये आप अगर 600 क्वेश्चंस एक बार देख के चले गए, मोर देन 80 MCQs in exam will come from this. Mark my words. चलो अभी स्टार्ट करते हैं. ठीक है. When placing a limit by order, कौन सा आएगा? The buyer specified a price below the prevailing market price. Hmm. When an option moves further in the money, the absolute value of its delta will increase. जभी जभी बढ़ेगा तो डेल्टा की भी इन द मनी में जाएगा, डेल्टा की वैल्यू 1 की तरफ जाएगी. ठीक है. What is the cost associated for holding the underlying asset for a specified time, known as cost of carry? Which future contracts are cash settled and cannot be used to acquire the underlying assets? Index future contracts. Options on ABC stocks for May, June, July expires are available at the same strike price. Which option is expected to have the lowest premium? Near month, May. नियर फार और नेक्स्ट होता है ना, तो बाद में नियर में आता है. इसमें मई जून जुलाई दिया तो मई आएगा. How can one create a bullish vertical spread? Purchasing of an at the money call and sell of an out the money call, both will have same expiry. A trader writes a call option on PQR stocks with a strike price of rupees 420 and receives premium of rupees 22 per share. The lot size is 800 share. If the stock price is expired at 385, calculate the trader's net profit or loss in rupees. पक्का लॉस ही होएगा. कितने का होएगा? 10400. आप कैलकुलेशन भी देख सकते हैं. मैं अभी दिखाने जाऊंगा तो बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. आई थिंक ये आपको सबको आना ही चाहिए. 100 में से 5 MCQ इसके ही होंगे, इसके रिलेटेड ही होंगे. ठीक है. A stock can be considered to be added in the future and option contracts in India exchange traded quality equity derivatives market only if it is in top 500 in terms of average daily market capitalization. Who determines the term and standard of forward contracts? Mutual agreement between the buyer and sellers. The relationship between the risk and return for an option contract is non-linear. Select the current statement regarding future contracts. Future contracts are executed fully on the exchange. Which of the following statement about the closing a long put option position is correct? It can be closed by taking a short position in a put option with the same strike price and expiry date. In derivative trading, the method employed for margin collected is referred as value at risk. What does systematic risk refer to? A non-diversifiable risk, another term for market risk. एक लाइक और कमेंट तो बनता है, अभी 1 बजे है, अपन 1 बजे काम कर रहे हैं प्लीज. Mr. Mohit is holding 25,000 shares of ITC Limited and he sells call option on a stock at a price of rupees 410 while the spot price is 400. Mr. Mohit is employing a dash strategy. Deploying होता है, employing तो नहीं होता है, लेकिन covered पर. If a dispute remains unresolved through the conciliation process on the online dispute resolution is spotted, it is referred to arbitration. आपको ये रटना पड़ेगा. You sold one ABC future contracts at rupees 2400 and later bought it back at rupees 2550. What will be your profit and loss? 9,000. If an investor holds a bearish view on the market, they expect price to go down. When the future price of a distant month is lower than that of a nearby month, the market condition is known as liquidation. The seller of a put option anticipates both the above. Stability or no change in underlying price, set price, or rise in underlying price. An option has a delta of 0.6. If an underlying share price by rupees 5, approximately how much will the option value 5 into 0.6 equals to 3. A writer of a naked put option is generally considered bullish and receives the premium. Taking a long position in Nifty June future and a short position in Nifty July future represents a arbitrage transaction. एक बाय और सेल होता है तो आर्बिट्राज होता है. The price of a derivative instrument depends on the value of the underlying asset. Among these strategies, which is considered to be a carry relative low risk and lower return potential, purchase the underprice index future of 1 month and simultaneously sell the overpriced index future. Arbitrage बोलते हैं इसे. Which of the following document is trading member required to provide to every new client? Risk disclosure document. Regarding investor in index funds, which statement is true? Investor prefix index funds that has low tracking error. Transaction executed on a recognized stock exchange are subject to which tax? STT. When an investor exercises a call option on a stock in the Indian equity derivative segments, the investor buys the underlying share from the option writer at the agreed strike price. Next, an investor wants to buy Reliance Industry shares in 2 months using money from an FD that will mature. Then the shares are now trading at 1500. What risk does the investor face and how can he hedge against it today? Risk of an increase in share price over the next 2 months. Take a long hedge by buying Reliance Industry futures today. अच्छे से देख के जाना, ठीक है. The unique client code UCC assigned by a broker is linked with the client's PAN number. Beta indicates how sensitive a share price is to be changed in the market index. A trader has set up a stop loss sell order on PQR futures with a trigger price of 290 and the current market price is 940. This order will be triggered for execution once the market price of a PQR future touches 920. Identify the correct statement from the following. Mm, Sales agents of brokers should avoid using high pressure or misleading sale tactics. Who guarantee all index and stock future contracts against counterparty risk? Clearing corporation. What measure of the rate which an option period changes its time passes? Theta. If a client does not pay the daily settlement margin of a future trade, what happens? The position is square of contracts that have been entered into but yet not be closed by the opposite transaction or delivered are known as open position. Each of the following contract is settled directly between two parties rather than through a clearinghouse. 7 month forward contract by Canadian dollars against the Indian rupees. ये आप याद कर लेना, कुछ नया है. Who among these is not permitted to clear and settle trades on behalf of other trading members? Self clearing member दूसरों का clear नहीं कर सकते हैं. वो उतना ही कर सकते हैं. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is a category of a dash index in contrast to the S&P 500, which is the dash index, narrow and broad. Some market participants opt for derivative trading over direct trading in the underlying assets, mainly due to the leverage advantage offered by derivatives. At the time of client registration, a derivative broker is required to ensure that the client reads and signs the risk disclosure agreement. Identify the option that is not an advantage of algorithmic trading, demands very little investment in resource and infrastructure. You expect certain individual stocks to decline, but anticipates on overall rise in the market. Which strategy would best help you profit from the outlook? Sell Sell the selected company shares and take a long position in index future. When traders can't find a future contracts for an assets they use the future of a similar or related assets to hedge their position in the cash market. This is known as cross hedge. Who is eligible to write option in the Indian stock market? All. Assume the index is at 2300. A trader believes that the Nifty has fallen sharply last few trading days and is unlikely to decline further immediately, but does not expect a significant upside rally. Either he expects the index to trade around 2300 or the next week. Which of the following option strategies best suit his view? Short 23000 put and long 22600 put. And option trading, which of the following options required payment of margin? Both 2 and 3. You can check. A trader sells a put option with a strike price of 350 and earns a premium of 42. What is the maximum loss the trader can face? 308. In the derivative segment, trader A intends to buy 12 contracts of July series at rupees 3800 and trader B plans to buy 9 contracts of August series at rupees 3950. Each contract has a lot size of 60 and the initial margin requirement is 5%. क्या करने का 12 into 3800 to 60 plus 3950 into 9 into 60 जो भी सम आएगा उसका 5% देख लो 243450 आएगा. The writer of a put option is defined as a person who is obligated to purchase the underlying asset. Which type of contract experience daily gains or losses because of mark to market mechanism? Future contract trading becomes costlier when margins are higher. True. When are mark to market margins collected daily? Who determines the daily settlement price of a equity derivative contracts? Clearing corporation. Which of the following statement correctly describe OTC contracts? They are negotiated and traded directly between counterparties. Create a considered a portfolio with a market value of 80 lakhs and a beta of 1. The index trade stands at 16,000 and the future contract lot size is 50. The hedge ratio is 10. What would be the worth of one lot of PQR future contracts when the market price is 3600? It would be 1,80,000. Who pays the STT when an option of a stock is exercised? The buyer of an option. A clearing member cannot submit only dash as a liquid asset to a clearing corporation. Equity shares. Which of the following types of collateral provided by a clearing member are subject to mark-to-market valuation? Approved equity shares. Mrs. Sonali bought 200 call option on stock PQR for a premium of rupees 75 each. With a strike price of 500 on the expiry date, the stock is trading at rupees 425. Ignoring the cost of and assuming the stock is liquid, what should be Mrs. Sonali do? Not exercising the call. ठीक है. Dash represent the cost arising from the difference between the bid and ask price. Impact cost. The following options are application of indices except private equity funds. The option that gives the holder the right to buy an asset at a set price or on before a given date is known as American call option. अमेरिकन कुछ भी कभी भी कर सकते हैं, यूरोपियन में एक्सपायरी के बाद ही अपन ले सकते हैं डिलीवरी। स्टॉक ट्रेड stock trade buys IBC stock call option at a strike price of rupees 750 for a 55 with a lot size of 900. What will be the profit or loss in the option is sold of rupees 36? 110% it would be loss, but how much loss? So buy price is premium paid equals to 55 sell price. Okay, 36 loss per share हुआ. That means 55 मिला, 36 loss हुआ, 19 lot size. Just a second. हाँ जी, आप अपन को 17,100 का लॉस है, ठीक है। इन द स्टॉक मार्केट लिक्विडिटी इज मेजर्ड बाय इम्पैक्ट कॉस्ट। हु हैज पावर टू अलाउ द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज टू स्टार्ट डेरिवेटिव ट्रेडिंग से भी। Which of the following are the key objectives of a trade guarantee for all of the above? Financial derivative facilitate which of the following activities all of the above? Which trading strategy should be considered if an event outcome is unclear, yet it is expected to trigger substantial volatility? Long trader. A trader can close a short future position by execute a purchase of identical future contracts. Bulls are the market participants who anticipates the price will dash, where bears are the those who anticipates the price will dash, rise and fall. In the context of initial margin calculation, which statement is correct? One client position cannot be offset against another client position for margin calculation. In which contract type are the right and obligation of the buyer and seller unequal? Option contract. Hedger and speculators complement each other in the market because hedger avoid risk while speculator assume risk. As a trending member, one of your client has taken a long position in 8 contracts of a February series index futures and another client has taken a short position in 11 contracts of the same series. Your exposure as a trading member will be computed on a gross basis of 19 contracts, 11 plus 8. Which of these is not a benefit of a screen-based trading when compared to open outright trading? Screen-based trading equals profit to intraday traders. The premium received by the seller of an option should be treated in the books of account as income. Which of the following described as an out-of-the-money option? An option without an intrinsic value. For a trader, a bullish call spread results in initial cash outflow. When the strike price of a put option increases, its intrinsic value increases. Dash are regarded as efficient and economical instrument for a portfolio hedged by institutional investors and mutual funds. Index-based derivatives. A call option with a shorter time to maturity will have a smaller time value. Margin in the derivative markets are required to be collected from every client other than financial institution calls. When the price of a future contracts declines, the mark the mark the mark to the market margin account of the trading holding a long position is debited, reflecting a loss. On an index future contract where the tick size is 0.5 and the lot size is 50, calculate the minimum tick value in rupees 25. Stocks A and B both prices rupees 100. Assume all the other conditions are identical. Call option on which stock will be priced higher if stock A exhibits better volatility than stock B. Call option on stock A. The least quantity of a particular script that can be ordered for purchase or sell on the exchange is called market lot. You manage a portfolio worth rupees 100 CR. You anticipate a short-term decline in the market but remain very positive about long-term outlook without selling your existing holdings. Which strategy should you adopt? Sell index futures. Which of the following guidelines are included in the code of conduct for a salesperson of market intermediaries when interacting with clients on or potential clients? All of the above. The value of a future contract is calculated by multiplying contract multiplier or a lot size. The individuals who sells a call option generally expects both the underlying asset price to go down or the underlying asset price to remain stable. Our clients buy a 20 contracts of April series and sells 15 contracts of the May series of NSE Nifty futures. How many qualify as trade transaction? 15. The option guarantee is holding the right to sell the underlying assets at a predetermined price or on the before a certain date is known as American put option. When a merger or demerger take place, on expiry future and option contracts on the release security that remain open on the last come date shall be compulsorily settled at the settlement price on the last come date. To ensure that the index remains comparable over time, adjustments are made by the index managers for corporate actions. Which of the following is not a type of risk faced by traders dealing in derivatives on an exchange? Reinvestment risk. A clearing member has a deposited of rupees 150 lakh as eligible liquid assets. The exchange minimum liquid net worth requirement is 60 lakhs. No trade has been executed. Determine the margin available for trading. It would be 90 lakhs, 150 minus 60. So yeah, we have covered total 500 MCQs till now, and remaining is only 100 MCQ. I am request you to all please consider all the 600 MCQ before exam. I am sure you gonna pass this exam. If you want any financial instruments like bonds, mutual funds, FDs, and stocks and all, you are feel free to contact me. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello guys, I am Dhaval Visaria, a developer and a mutual fund distributor. Okay, so हमने कवर कर दी है NISM 8 की all 1 to 8 टेस्ट सीरीज. ओके, वी हैव कवर टोटल 500 MCQs. अब ये लास्ट वाला है, ये 100 MCQ. मैं आपको 110% गारंटी के साथ कहता हूँ, आप ये एक बार देख के जाए, आप पक्का वन गो में ही क्रैक कर डालेंगे. ठीक है, चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं. The relationship between the spot price and the future price is known as cost of carry. कॉस्ट ऑफ कैरी कहते हैं स्पॉट प्राइस एंड फ्यूचर प्राइस का डिफरेंस होता है ना उसको. आपको पता है ये क्या है? स्पॉट प्राइस क्या होता है? जो निफ्टी 50 का प्राइस होता है. और फ्यूचर प्राइस क्या होता है? जो थोड़ा बढ़ के होता है. थोड़ा बढ़ के क्यों होता है? क्योंकि उस पर इंटरेस्ट लगता है डेरिवेटिव्स का, उसे हम अपन कॉस्ट ऑफ कैरी कहते हैं. Longer the time of maturity of a put option, higher will be its time value. The price of a stock P and the stock of Q is the same at 500 if everything else is constant, and if stock P is more volatile than stock Q, the call option on dash will be priced higher. Of course, stock P. Identify the correct statement with respect to a short position in a put option. इसका आंसर है short position in a put option can be closed out by executing a long position in a put option with the same exercise date and exercise price. Which of these is not included in the Indian equity derivative market? Interest rate futures are not included. The Thursday is usually the last trading day of the future series. If it's a holiday on this day, then which will be the last trading day? The previous working day. किसी भी मंथ में या वीक में कभी हॉलीडे होएगा तो प्रीवियस डे हो जाएगा, पहले ही दिन हो जाएगा, अगले दिन नहीं होता. Which tax is applicable on the transaction done on the recognized Indian Stock Exchange (STD)? Option premium is the price which is paid by the both option buyer to option seller. A closing buy transaction is a buy transaction which will have the effect of offsetting a short position. Which of these is an order with a time condition? Good till cancel order. पूरा दिन चलता है ये वाला order. Mr. Sabu has put option in a stock. He can square off his long position in a stock by selling the same stock and same quantity. वो square off हो जाएगा. For extraordinary dividends above 2% of the market value of underlying security, the amount of dividend is dash the strike price of an option on stock subtracted from this answer. Initial margin can be paid by बैंक सबको देना पड़ता है initial margin में से all of the above. Which of this is the true for an in the money option? In the money has a positive intrinsic value. In the money में हमेशा intrinsic value होती है. Out of money में only time value होती है. जब भी expiry होएगी all of the out of the money option will be zero. A call option will give the buyer the right to buy the underlying asset. In the derivative exchange, the net worth requirement for the clearing member is less than that of a non-clearing member. False. The New York Stock Exchange has two important indices, Dow Jones and Standard and Poor 500. The DJAI is dash index, whereas the S&P 500 is dash index. Narrow and bold. Identify the correct statement for in the money call option. Strike price will always be lower than the market price. A clearing member has to deposit liquid asset with the clearing corporation, but these liquid assets cannot be comprised entirely of equity shares. A trader has sold the ABC future contracts at 2500 and bought it back at 2700. What is the gain or loss for the trader? A loss of 10,000. You can check. Here is the explanation. Because we don't have any time, I can't explain in detail. Okay. Identify the correct statement. In चारों में से margin is derivative trading depend on volatility and price movement of the underlying. If the future price underlying but open interest is increasing, it indicates a bearish trend. Intraday trading can be done in the case of all ETF units. Everest Limited entered into a contract with the Bank of Baroda under which Everest Limited will receive interest at 7.5 per annum and pay interest to Bank of Baroda at MIBOR on principal of 25 CR for a period of 3 years from today. This contract is known as swap. इसे swap कहते हैं. A strike price of a put option is taken down. Its intrinsic value goes also down. Score is SEBI web-based complaint readdressal system. Everest Mutual Fund has floated a new fund offer and received 500 CR from the investor. The fund manager of his fund is planning to invest this amount over the next 1 month in buying 25 high growth stocks. He can hedge the risk in the planned purchase of stocks by executing a long hedge using index future. When there is high volatility in stock market, the bid-ask price will generally widen. If all of the features are same, an American call option will have higher value than the European option. State whether true or false. The above statement is true. The equity shares which have been given by the clearing member to the clearing corporation as a part of liquid assets are generally not marked to market on regular basis. This is also false. In the market derivative exchange, the matching of bids and offer price online and immediate. Dash gives the right to sell an assets for a certain price on a before a specified date. अमेरिकन पुट ऑप्शन अमेरिका में कुछ भी पहले होता है यूरोपियन में नहीं होता है अपन यूरोपियन यूज करते हैं आइडेंटिफाई द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम द गिवन ऑप्शन so correct option is a member who is registered as a trading member on derivative exchange will not have the clearing rights as per the income tax act. Any loss on the derivative transaction can be set off against which income in the same year income from any other business. ये प्रॉपर्टी में कुछ कैपिटल गेन और सैलरी से नहीं होता है ऑफसेट और कितने साल तक अपन ले सकते हैं 8 years तक लॉस हो ना तो एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं. Mr. Jones buy a put option with a high strike price at the same time sells another put option with a lower strike price. Both of the same underlying shares and same expiry date. This is known as bearish spread. A member who a member has a two clients M and N. M has bought 300 contracts and N has sold 250 contracts in October ABC future series. Calculate the outstanding liability of the member towards clearing corporation in number of contracts is 550. In the book of account of the client, the balance in the initial margin account on the balance sheet, it must be shown under the head is known as current assets. ITR में होता है. Calculate the intrinsic value for the following call option. Current price of the stock is 340. Call option strike price is 300. Is quoted as 65. So correct answer is 40. Spot price minus strike price. 340 minus 300 equals to 40. The Key to determining if a future transaction is for hedging or speculation lies in whether there already exists a related commercial position which has a risk of loss due to price movement. Who decide the daily settlement price of equity derivative contracts? The clearing corporation. If there is a debit balance in the dash, it represents anticipated loss on future contracts marked to market margin account. Which of these strategy has same payoff profile as the covered call strategy? A short put strategy. Value at risk measures the risk level of a financial portfolio. Arbitrageurs are considered to be a critical link between all of the above. The M2M margin is always equal to the initial margin. False, which is the lot size of four contracts on individual stock, future and options. It differs from stocks to stocks. Rho is linked to interest rate. Rho is linked to interest rate. Okay. An investor who is anticipating a board stock market fall, but is not willing to sell his entire portfolio of stocks can offset the potential loss by shorting a certain number of index futures. It's true. If a share price of ABC share increased by 5 and delta of its option is 0.5, then how much 5 into 0.5 equals to 2.5? The buyer of a option is only who has a dash but not dash to buy sell the underlying assets. Is right an obligation. According to the corporate hierarchy for users defined in the trading system for stock exchanges, the exposure limits for the branches of the stocking firm can be defined only by the corporate managers. At the price level of 6300, what will be the value of one lot of ABC future contracts? 6300 into 50. If a 1 month call option on PQI stocks, a strike price of 700 is out of the money, identify which of this would be a spot price of PQR stocks. It's 650. Identify the following false statement with respect to impact cost. Impact cost is the same for the seller and the buyer of the stock. S is an example of derivative on energy resource, natural gas future. Which function of exchange is focused at maintaining stability in the derivative market? Risk management. Which of which are the two most important things to be considered while constructing an index? Diversification and liquidity. Mr. Surya has gone April on futures. ABC stocks 1200. He will make a loss if the future price move to लॉस कब होगा जब नीचे जाएगा 1175 बाकी सब 1200 से ऊपर है A trading member has to issue which of the documents to all its client risk disclosure documents which of this derivative contract cannot be usually closed or reversed till expiry forward contracts buyer of out of the money call option is bullish and pays the premium. Mr. Manoj is Nifty trader and feels the Nifty has fallen sharply in the last few days to 17500 levels and should bounce back to 17700 levels over the next week. Which option based strategy should Mr. Manoj use to his view? He should take a long position in 17500 call and short position in 17700 call. A dash is not a trading member but clear and settles the trades of trading member and institutional clients. Professional clearing member. Identify which of these is not an example of hedge. Mr. Patil, a stock trader, is bullish on the market and therefore buys out of the money index call and sells out of the money index put. Speculators are those who wish to dash risk, whereas hedgers are those who wish to dash risk or take and reduce. What is the ask price? It is the price at which market maker is prepared to sell. Ask is sell, bid is buy. Okay. The terms of the contract are decided by the mutual agreement between the parties in a future contract. Of course, false. What are the order in immediate or cancelled? Then the unmatched portion of the order is cancelled immediately. Which of the following is the closest to the forward price of share? If cash price is 750, forward contract maturity equals to 6 months from date. Market interest rate is 12%, 795. पहले तो 90 को डिवाइड बाई 2 से करना पड़ेगा 750 का कितना होएगा 12% 90 को डिवाइड बाई 2 से करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि 6 मंथ्स के लिए चाहिए तो इसका प्राइस आ जाएगा 795 ऐड कर देने का जो आंसर आएगा 6% 750 इंटू 6% करेंगे तो भी आ जाएगा if the IPF for the derivative segment is independent of the cash segment. Mr. Srinivas take a short position in a call option but does not take any offsetting position in the underlying stock. This strategy is known as writing a naked call. With regards to future market, Basis is the difference in the price between spot and future price. If the future price of a stock is dash and the open interest of the future contract of the stock is dash, then it signals a bullish trend, rising and rising. Each forward contract can have a different level allocation, a differently maturity date, and a different contract size. True. State whether true or false. The clearing corporation of an exchange has the power to disable a defaulting trading member from trading further. True. Mr. Anish had purchased 25 put option on a stock X by paying a premium of 20 per put. The stock price has closed as 240 on the exercise date. In such a situation, Mr. Ashish will choose to not to exercise the option. What does contract month mean? The month of expire of the future contract. How can an open position in a future contracts be closed? It can be closed anytime on before the date of maturity through reverse transaction. If you are a seller of put option, you expect dash of the underlying assets, both of the above. An investor has implemented a short hedge using stock future. This is done to protect investor existing stock holding against an anticipated price fall. Which of these complaint against a trading member can exchange take up for reversal when excess brokerage is charged by the broker? As compared to the other financial products mentioned here, which one is more difficult to understand? Index option on the broad bias equity index like Nifty. For setting limits on the trading member clearing through him, a clearing member will have to consult. Clearing member can set the limits on its own and no consultation is required. Strike price is the price at which Dash can purchase or sell the underlying assets by exercising the option. Option buyer. Identify the strategy which has limited potential gain with limited possible loss. Going short in at the money index put and going long in out of the money index put option both with the same expiry date. In India, when the option holds exercise a item call option on a stock, he or she buys the underlying stocks from the option writer at the pre-specific price. What when the initial margin is kept at lower levels, it becomes attractive for the market participants to transact in the derivative market. True. Identify the true statement with respect to future contracts. Future contracts can be traded only on an exchange. The unique client code, which is allotted by the broker, is linked to the PAN card number. If there are three series of 1, 2, and 3 futures open at a given point of time, how many calendar spreads possible can arise? Only 3. Every time 3 will be there. Which type of order will you place to buy or sell a certain quantity of a price at a specific price or better, a limit order? Mr. Mishra sold a put option of a strike 500 on PQS stock for a premium of rupees 50. The lot size is 1000 on expiry day. PQS stock closes 440. What is the profit and loss? Of course, profit, but how many? 500 minus 440 is equals to 60, and 60 minus 50 equals to 10. 10 into lot size is 1000, so it will become 10,000. The volatility estimate methodology is known as all market participants. The calculation of a premium of a stock is a function of volatility of stock, time left to expiry and interest rate, the current stock price and strike price. All of the above. Mr. Deepak wants to buy 20 contracts on. So basically 20 into 3500 into 50 plus 12 into 3600 into 50 equals to the answer which comes into 8%. दोनों को प्लस करके 8% बहुत easy है. Identify the true statement. The clearing member set the limits for the trading member under him. ये true है. Is the statement correct or incorrect? A hedged portfolio will give a higher returns than unhedged portfolio at all. It's incorrect. It depends on the situation. A trader has taken a short position of contract in September ABC futures at a price of 1200. When he closed his position after some day, he realized that he has made a profit of 8,000. Identify the action which have enabled him to generate a profit of 8,000. Buying one September ABC future contract for 1040. Stock is trading at rupees 100. Mr. Ashish buys trader at rupees 100 and pays a premium of 10. The call option is rupees 5 and the put option based on the information. Identify the correct statement. Break even point is 110. Put option का break even 95 होगा. Yes, true है. This trader is true break even. Yes, of course. All of the above. Yes. क्योंकि call भी लिया और put भी लिया तो दो break even point होगा. Dash is a cost to the market participant, but it is not mentioned in the contract, not impact cost. So yeah, we have total covered 600 MCQ. So please refer all these 600 MCQs one time, two time, or three time before the exam. I am sure you're gonna pass the exam. If you pass the exam, please make sure you comment down or you come and tell me that I use your MCQ test series and pass the exam. I would be very happy in the world, bro. So yeah, that's it from my side. And now I'm thinking that I come up with the next NISM exam test series would be basically I have cleared NISM 5, 8, 13 and 15. So I have completed NISM 8 today for you guys and comment down which next test series do you want. Okay, till then bye.